Where are you at?
Dallas, Dallas.
Yeah, I thought you had, like, are you, so you really live in Dallas, huh?
I bought a
How did,
house out here, and I love my little friend group out here. So it's gonna be hard to leave. But if I get a job somewhere, then I'm out of here.
understandably, right? But I mean, I feel like we're not in a place where we really have to live anywhere specific anymore. Like, you don't
I,
have to be in New York, LA, right? Or
no,
Atlanta. Yeah, so
no,
that,
and
mhm.
2 hour flight. It's like 2.5 hours. It's like I could be everywhere. An hour in Atlanta, so I could
You
be everywhere.
see? Let me
Yep.
do the intro though, because I know
Okay.
that you're Claudia Jordan, but does everybody know? Of course they do. But my name, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I'm here with the lovely Claudia Jordan. We're here to talk about season 3 of College Hill Celebrity Edition. We were just chatting a little bit already, and I'll include that, of course, as well. But thank you so much for joining me, Claudia.
Thanks for having me. I love
Yeah.
it.
Thank you. And I've spoken with you before. And it's funny because very, very rarely can someone make me kind of like break a little bit of character and laugh because you just kind of you joke a little bit. So I was like,
A little bit.
right. So I was like, she knows how to take that little bit out of me where I'm like, oh, okay, okay, not a good
Well, hopefully I can do it again today. Let's see if
Oh
we can go
no,
two for
I'm
two.
I'm sure I'll tell you, you're because I try to stay really, really safe with questions because I don't want to take, and a lot of times people will just go wherever they want to go, like whatever's on their mind. But also I feel like you're not the kind of person that runs from anything. So if anything,
No,
yeah,
you can
exactly.
ask. You can ask me whatever you want, and go ahead. I'm giving you full permission.
Yes, okay, great. New notebook. No, I'm just kidding. But
New questions.
exactly though. But okay, so let's talk about this College Hill. This particular season takes place on the Xavier University campus, which is a really big deal. It's a historic HBCU. So what was it like to be part of that experience?
I had no idea how good of a school, an institution that Xavier was. Like this school, they do not play. And you know what? I think people think, including us
Mhm.
as the
Mhm.
celebrities, that okay, we're gonna go do College Hill, and they're gonna
Yeah.
give us like an easy version of the classes, and it's not really gonna be hard. It's gonna be easy, and we'll be able to just kind of, breeze through this. Absolutely, no,
So you had to really,
absolutely,
it was truly a curriculum.
yes.
I wondered about that.
No, it was really hard. And then when you're rusty, like
Yeah,
we're all in our 40s, okay?
right.
Besides Saucy, I believe. We're
Mhm.
all like 40s, 51 for me.
Mhm.
So it's been 30 years since I've been in college, okay? Like let's 20, yeah, like that 30 years, 33 years since I've been in college. So I'm rusty.
Yeah.
So, no one's like quizzed me since I left college. I haven't had pop quizzes. I haven't had to like really buckle down like that. I mean, I put presentations together, but it's not the same.
Right.
And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Life is is very easy when you're a celebrity. People do
Mm.
things for you. You have people to do things to do the hard work for you, and you get to show up and do the fun part.
That's honest. That's honest.
It's true.
Yeah.
So, you have an assistant. Can you research this for me? Can you look that up for me? Can you create this PDF document? And then you become a little bit helpless.
Mhm.
College Hill, you had to get on there. There was no catering to you because you're a celebrity. No one cares. It's for real. And we had to really do it. And I think some of the cast had a hard time with that at first. Like, this is
Okay.
so hard and why it's not right. But that it is what it is. You need to know before you come on the show. If you're not about that, if you need to be catered to and, yeah, have your hand held for everything, this ain't for you because they
Mm.
expect excellence. And
Mhm.
don't think because it's an HBCU or it's a TV show that you're just gonna skate on by and just like really just kind of like not do it justice. You got to do
Mhm.
it justice, and you should want to because it's an HBCU.
Because right, yeah, I went to an HBCU and it was solidly. I was in the AUC, the best experience of my life, and I can tell you, like, as a kid, I was inspired by a different world, and I was like, it's gonna be just like TV, and that's why I wanted to go. And to be honest with you, it was pretty close to that. Like,
Really?
it was so cool. So yeah,
Where'd you
I,
go?
I went to Clark Atlanta University.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm
So
so jealous. I wish let me not say jealous, envious. I wish I would have went to HBCU, especially after where I went. There was just this the flavor, the
oh,
seasoning. And I'm not
it
just talking about the food.
it is different because I did go to Clark Atlanta University, but I also did go to a PWI as well, right? So it's just different, and the experience of, and I grew up in Chicago, well, a little outside of Chicago, but I mean, so I was never really around a lot of white people anyway, if I'm just being frank. But
Yeah.
when you go to an HBCU, the education that is surrounding, like, just knowing more about us is super different. Like, it's just, I don't know, and just getting to know more people from around the country and everything. So I want to know, what was your favorite subject?
Well, something that it's not in the final edit, but we had
Okay.
a sign. I don't know if I can even if I can discuss it, but it
Then
was like,
yeah, don't discuss nothing you can't discuss. We're
well,
gonna,
no, they didn't say I could, but there was a
Oh,
science class that you didn't get to
okay.
see.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
And I love science. Like I was going to be a biology major before
Huh.
I got into entertainment. So I love, like we talk about protons and neutrons and electrons and the chemistry of food. And I like aced it. I wish I could have seen that. But anyways, Converge Media was a good class. The history of slavery and Mardi Gras and slavery and how it all ties in. I mean, learning about a lot of these landmarks in America that are now open fields or parks that are once on a lot of areas that used to be thriving Black communities.
Even in New York
Hello,
City.
Central Park.
I was just gonna, that's exactly where I was going with it. Yep.
Hello, Lake Lanier. Like all these places that were flooded out and became like parks that white people in there throwing the frisbee to the dogs. And we don't think about the historical context and what we used to be there and how Black communities were just not bulldozed, but burned down, knocked down, destroyed. And these are places that we see as, expensive property and that we could never live there. But those are our places.
Those were our
I would
places.
have never learned that at a PWI.
Exactly. No, exactly, exactly. And we see here a relationship between you and Miss Angela, no, well, formerly Blac Chyna, but Miss Angela White. And I know that you've interviewed her before, but what was the relationship like before you got to College Hill?
I knew her on a surface level. I interviewed her.
Okay.
I thought she was sweet. I didn't have her phone number. I interviewed her one time. My producers got in touch with her. I didn't have a connect to her. I just saw her. Actually, I to see her full evolution has been amazing because years ago, the owner of Baller Alert, Robin, brought me to the club that Chyna danced in, and that's my first time meeting her. So to go from that to being her roommate in College Hill, and I felt like I took her on as my little sister, and we studied together. We worked on projects together. We helped each other. We cleaned the house together. I got to really know her for her. I am an 100% absolute fan of Angela White, and I I was emotional about her success like they were my successes. And I hope this inspires us in the outside world to stop looking at each other's, our sisters and our brothers' successes as our successes and stop being jealous, envious, or haters. Because we have enough of that negativity. Like when one of us wins, like we should be like, man, that's my dog. Like she got it. And I felt that way when I saw her like going to work out with the track team, standing in front of all of us in a church and being off script and just speaking from the heart. And I was in tears the whole time. I love seeing a story of perseverance. Like people, I'm not what I used to be, and I'm evolving because I want to. That's dope as hell. And Tamar Braxton a bit of that as well. Like she was talking about, she's trying to do better in her life. I just feel like we got to start giving people grace when they want to like make changes in their lives. Like I'm not who I was 10 years ago.
Absolutely, right?
You shouldn't be. Stop making people live like with their former self for the rest of their lives, unless they're murderers or pedophiles, of course.
Well, yeah, there's some exceptions to the rule, right? But a lot of people won't let you grow. And that's unfortunate. Yeah, exactly. Like, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I probably wasn't anywhere near close to anything close to resembling a best self, But for someone to act like you have to live in that is so unfortunate. And I think that Angela does such a great job of just dealing with people just maybe not necessarily being sure of how to accept her in the moment, because they seem to think that she's kind of going through even just this, they think this is a phase. But I've interviewed her as Angela, and she was so pleasant. She was actually quite darling and pleasant. So I was happy for her too, just in the same way you did. And of course you had the honor of getting to know her. But it's just like, I'm so glad that you articulated that, because I'm so tired of people not receiving people and just being proud of what people can accomplish.
You know what it is? It's social media, okay? Because people would never say this stuff to your face in real life, but they get
never would.
real mean on social media. So like, okay, so what? I was a dancer back in the day. So what? I had a really foul mouth and I would say messed up things sometimes when I was 15 years earlier.
Right.
People that usually do a lot of good in this world came from a place that at one point they made
that mistakes, is true.
Right. And then they learned and they became greater. I'm sorry. I didn't come out the womb perfect. And people got to stop holding people like, oh, back in 2005, you said this. Okay. Yes, I did. And I also grew up. I grew up. And I'm like, I hate that we do that to each other. And I wish we would stop doing that. Like, and I feel the people in the comments, they act as if they have been perfect their entire lives. And I challenge you all that are watching this to find me a person that has been perfect from birth to death. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. We've all, yeah, and if we all got down to it and just like sort of just revealed like any like of the worst thing we've ever done or the worst thing we've ever been a part of or dealt with, we'd all realize that nobody's life is picturesque. You know, we've all gone through some things, and you know, listen, at the end of the day, like everybody at some point has been a villain in someone else's story. You know,
Yeah.
it just is that way. Now, speaking of growth, right? So recently a picture, as you know, went very, very viral, and apparently they say it's from 1998. And this is a picture of you, Mimi Faust, and Carly Red. And you guys seem to be like in a club. I want to know what was going through your mind at that time. Like, you know, who was that girl?
So I was fresh in LA. I came from the Miss USA pageant. I moved to LA with like $500. My best friend Alta introduced me to Mimi on a trip, and we became really close friends. And she moved in with me. She was my roommate.
Oh,
She
wow.
introduced me to Carly, whose name was Diamond back then, or Keisha. She changed her name a couple of times. And she was a wild girl, but she was fun. And so like we went out a couple of times. But Mimi and I became like, we have been like very close for many, many years, even to this day, even to this day. So back then I was looking at that, like, I love that people like repost that picture. Like the 90s were a time of Black excellence. Like we only wore a lip liner, a little bit, no, I'm sorry, like a frosty lip, eyeliner, and that was it. We didn't have weaves, we didn't have fake lashes. We had none of that. And I just feel like the women back then just looked so beautiful. And I hope Black women go back to embracing their natural beauty, where everyone looked different. Everyone in that picture looks different. We don't look the same, right? We don't.
Well, no, actually, no, you were the person that more than most, rather, I should say. I'm trying to say this a different way, but you were the person that was complimented because you looked the same. That's what people were saying.
Oh, I guess I mean like,
oh, you mean in terms of the
individual looks. Like I don't look like Mimi. Mimi doesn't look like Carly. Now,
I see. Yes,
the same baby hair, the same BBLs, the same size breast implants, the same, you know, everyone the same contour. But yeah, I feel like I definitely do look a lot like very similar to what I looked back then. You know, I love that time. That at the time when I was thinking, I knew I was supposed to be in this business. I knew I was going to be successful, but I didn't know where or how it was going to play out. And Mimi at the time, I used to have a lot of conversation with her. She was very frustrated in her life because she did not know what she wanted to be. And I was like, damn, I wonder how that feels to not know what you have. You don't have a purpose. But she was a caretaker to everybody. She was the best roommate I ever had. She was she would cook and clean, and she's very nurturing. And because she didn't have a lot of that love growing up in her life, you know, and I don't know if you know her story, but you know, she was kind of abandoned. Her mom was in Scientology, and she had
heard of the Scientology.
Be on the streets, and she had to like be a survivor. And because she's one of my dearest friends, and I think she's another person that's also very misunderstood. That girl's been through a lot, and once you know people's whys, you can understand them better, you know.
Exactly. No, that's very true. It doesn't make it give excuse for people being bad people, but I do feel like, again, when you see somebody like a Mimi and what they've been through, and you see how sweet they can and how authentic that they can be, it does make you wonder, like, you don't have to be bad, right? And I do want to say something else too, because sometimes the criticism that I see of you is that people kind of accuse you of perhaps being a mean girl, but it just seems like whenever I see a photo of you or anything, you know, recalling a past moment or anything like that, you're surrounded by women. And then if you could say like Mimi's been your friend all of this time, and then you look at some of the drama that, you know, that's edited into reality shows or whatever is real, right? It seems to me like it'd be very difficult to pretend to be friends with these people or to have the career that you have if people didn't like you. You know what I'm saying? So
the mean girl narrative to me is one of the most ridiculous of all the many, many rumors I have. Because usually when people meet me after 5 minutes, they're like, wait, what? You're not what I thought. And I don't know if that became that didn't really get that reputation until I did Atlanta Housewives.
Okay.
And before that, I never was called a mean girl. I was called super nice. Like my friends say, I'm super nice to the point of being a sucker a lot of times for people. Like I'm the type like I care about people. And that's the one that bothers me the most, because I'm a girl's girl. And if you look at my social media, like that's where the truth really lies. Not on what the blogs say about me, because the blog could be someone that met you one time, you didn't give them an interview, they're mad at you, or whatever stupid reason they have. But like who I am is on my Instagram. I'm constantly big upping other Black women. I'm surrounded by Black women. I'm a girl's girl. I'm always in partnerships and businesses. You cannot be a mean girl and have the same friends for 30 years.
That's all I'm saying.
You can't. It's not possible. A mean girl's a mean girl.
All of their relationships expire. We know those people, right? So it's like,
look at the people that have new besties every couple years.
I was just about to say that. I know people that like literally have like a rotation, and it's like they fell out with this person and that person. It's like, you fell out with so and so. That says more about you. Like, I mean, come on.
My girls have been in my life from my dear friend Jennifer Green. She was on my track team in college, and we were friends since 1991. That is my dog. I took her on the Tom Joyner cruise like about 10 years. Like, I still have people in my life from like, I can't be that bad.
Right, exactly. But I just want to be, I know we got to wrap up, but I have one thing to say. When we were first talking, you were asking me where I was, and I was telling you New York, and you told me that you were in Dallas and that you liked it there. But the one thing that you said that I kind of, I was like, that piques my interest, was that, yeah, and I like this, I really like the friend group, the girls that I have here as friends here. And I'm like, so are these people that were in media, or just like, like that's my homegirl from Whole Foods, and this is my homegirl from, this just people?
None of them. One girl's in the business. My friend Missy, she's an actress. I met her on a play we did, and then we became business partners. Now we're like giving away prom dresses to young underprivileged girls out here in the DFW area. My other friend runs a food program where she feeds kids, and she has a nonprofit. I'm actually meeting her today so she can set up my nonprofit. We're going to do a feeding program as well here in Dallas. And my other girl, Sabrina, is a travel agent. So no, they have nothing. Like, we're not competing. Yeah. And like, I'm getting Missy on all the movies that I can like have a say in, like, hey, my homegirl, I need you to look at her. And now she's trying to do the same thing as well. So yeah, my friend, we are not, we're not competing.
And the last thing I'm gonna say is, one time there was like, it was one of those social media narratives where it was just like, it was like a dark skin versus light skin thing, and people were just sort of like trying to pit us against each other. And I was like, who could I talk to about this? And I was like, hey, Miss Claudia, like, I want to talk to you and see if there's anything, blah, blah. She like really responded, y'all, like, okay, well, let me know, blah, blah. And I'm like, this woman don't know me from a can of paint. Like, I am not a media contact. I didn't leave with, and I've talked to so-and-so, and I know this person. It was nothing. Like, she just really it was a random DM. She answered it with authenticity. Like, it was well thought out. It wasn't like, somebody, an assistant was it wasn't that. And I was like, she's cool. Like, I was like, I like Claudia. I do.
You're a Black woman in media. Like, we gotta look up. We gotta look out. And to that light skin, dark skin thing, I know there's been rumors about me like having issues with that. I have cussed out so many Black men who have had negative things to say about, I don't date no one darker than me. And I'm like, you know what? Even though that doesn't apply to me, it applies to me.
But it's also like, how could that be a compliment to you if somebody says it to you as right? Exactly. Like,
that's like saying you're pretty for a Black girl. That's
exactly.
Insult.
I don't hear it now. Like, I think now people are a little more matured, but I used to hear that when I was a kid, like, pretty for a dark skin. And you'd hear that and like, you want me to receive that? Like,
don't receive that. Tell them to go kiss your ass with that compliment.
Exactly.
And I want us to stop. And I know there's a lot of that stuff going on. I know we have to go, but a lot of this purity test going on with Kamala Harris. And I'm claiming her. I'm sorry. I am claiming her. I'm happy that an HBCU grad is about to be a president. And I feel like we sometimes divide ourselves over these like these purity tests, and it's like, well, she's only 1/4, or she's only half, or she's not this. I'm claiming, I'm rooting for everybody Black, like she said, like our girl said, and I just feel like we just gotta like get back more of this and less of that.
Yeah. Those are divisive conversations at the end of the day, right? So that's completely, it gets away from the issues, and that's what people want. That's what they want us to do.
Dividing each other by skin tone is so ridiculous. They sit back, white folks, and laugh at us for doing that. Like, we call you all the same thing behind closed doors. Okay,
exactly. I've said the same thing myself. But it was so lovely to talk to you. It really was. Thank you for your time.
You too. College Hill season finale. I'm sorry, College Hill season finale. Coming up this week. Please check it out on BT Plus, and please subscribe if you're not. And it's a great season. Like, please run it back, watch it a couple times, and please support the show.
Y'all see, she saved me like 45 seconds because usually I have to do all of that. But Claudia's in her bag. This is what she does. All right, take care. Thank you so much.
Bye. Nice seeing you.
Bye-bye. If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.